everybody. This is Devin from ProjectSax, and I'm here with my sister Demetrius. How you
Hi.
doing? I see her every day, but I don't always get to join her in her elementary school band. Now, this Project Sax episode today is going to be about elementary school bands and how students can benefit from them. Let me give you a brief history on my experience with elementary school bands. I was not in an elementary school band. I started music off when I was in middle school. When I was in sixth grade, I was around 11 years old when I started playing the saxophone. And Mimi here is a fellow saxophone player. So, we have a lot in common, and she feeds off of me, and, we sort of learn from each other, from experiences. I guess when thinking about elementary school bands, you have to stop and think, what kind of dedication, commitment that these students go through. And we have Mimi here. We nickname her Mimi. So or Demetrius. We have Mimi here, and she's gonna tell us a little bit about how it is to work in elementary school band. So how is it when you working in an elementary school band?
It's really nice. Like you play your instrument and you know that you're over a level than normal people are, and the music makes people happy, and you get to perform it in front of lots of people and make them happy too.
How is it performing in front of a lot of people? Because you guys perform. It just boggles my mind sometimes how many people you perform in front of as a student. That's what, 9 years old, 10 years old. You performing in front of a lot of people. How does that feel?
It just feels like you're expressing your emotions inside of your music, and you're saying, I'm really feeling happy, so I'm gonna play this super good. And it makes you feel even happier when you're playing it in front of people.
Is that what you say to yourself? I'm going to play this really good right before you go out on a big gig or a big show. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds nice. That sounds something like I should start doing. I don't do that at all. I just go out there and play. I mean, I get the nervousness like everybody else does, but it's like I handle it in a different way. I'm just like, don't mess up. I'm like one of those coaches yelling in the back of your head, "Don't mess up! We got 50 push," something like that. But okay. So this was at W.G. Pearson Magnet School. This is a local elementary school, and what we do is we go out and support. So do you guys get to travel as a young band?
Yeah, we do a lot. Like this year, we went to Atlanta City and played, and we stayed in a hotel for 3 days. It was really fun, and we got to swim in the swimming pool. The music, we had to play it for like 1 hour, but it was worth it.
Oh, okay. You had to play them for 1 hour. Is there any other big places you guys have been to?
Oh, well, I haven't been to some of these places because it was the first time I've been on a trip. But like the the other students last year went to Washington D.C. and met, well, a lot of people. Like they played for the president.
Okay, so they met a whole bunch of important people. So that sounds like the president, of course, important people. But okay, so let me see. So you said there are other people in your band. What do you mean? Is your band separated?
Kind of, like it's beginning band and it's advanced band. You stay in each band for like, well, you stay inside of beginning band for 1 year, and then you go on to advanced band the next 2 years in fourth and fifth grade.
Okay, all right. So you saying you start in third grade?
Yes, you start in beginning band in third grade.
Okay, all right. That sounds neat and interesting. Okay, so what really inspired you to pick up your saxophone as an instrument?
Well, actually, you did because
Okay.
you taught me a lot about the saxophone, like what buttons you press and how to put it together. Actually, I learned faster than the entire class did,
Okay.
and I knew my notes, and so it was really helpful.
And the next lesson I'll be teaching you how to talk about buttons that are not buttons, they're keys, but you know, you can say whatever you want to. But yeah, so you play alto saxophone. Or which part do you play? You play first or second part?
I play the second part, but playing the second part is really easy, and it like helps me know that next year you were going to play the first part. So get ready.
In music, a lot of people don't understand this, and this is a misconception for a lot of people. People don't understand that the first and second part, there's in many ways there are differences and difficulties, but one part doesn't mean it's better than the other part. If you have four different saxophone parts, or you in a quartet or whatever, you have four different parts, you know, one's more important than the other, yes, but they're all needed to produce one piece of music. So it's not just because you play second saxophone or third saxophone, don't let that deter you from the level of player that you are. You know, some of the best players I know play third or second saxophone. It's not because they are so quote unquote weak or not as proficient as the other saxophones. It's just that's just the part they wanted to play. In my opinion, the second part is a little bit better than the first part. First part you may more on occasion have higher notes, but the second part you get the bass, you get the lower part. And in my opinion, a lot of times the bass carries everything in music. Okay, so in a band like this, you gotta have a director that can take little kids. How many people you think if you gave it a guess? How many people do you think would be in the band?
In the entire band,
Yeah.
advanced and beginning,
Yeah,
about I think 60 maybe.
60, and you have one band director, not an assistant. Not okay. So who is this band director that you had in elementary school?
His name is Mr. Blackburn.
Okay, all right, Mr. Blackburn. Actually, I've met Mr. Blackburn. Um, you guys, if you guys aren't acquainted with the way we, go about doing music, but I go to the elementary school and help them learn how to play music. So I got the pleasure of actually meeting Mr. Blackburn, and he's a really good band teacher. Good band teacher. To it just takes a lot of patience and a lot of self control to work with 60 younger kids that are with instruments of all things instruments. You're gonna hear a whole bunch of ducks, you're gonna hear a whole bunch of geeses that's being choked during practice, and it's just wonderful to see somebody who is willing to take their time out of their day to teach these kids. Not only are they younger kids, because if you get a contract and you're like, I'm teaching third graders how to play an instrument, first thing that comes to my mind is like, headaches, stress, all this stuff. But he's been doing a wonderful job, and not only did he not want to leave, but he wanted to stay with the band. He just found a better opportunity at another place, but he stayed with the band, and he accomplished a whole lot of great things. Thumbs up for Mr. Blackburn. But tell me a little bit more about Mr. Blackburn.
Well, he was a great teacher, and he said that he thought that he was gonna stay at the school until he was an old man.
Mm.
Cause he loved the school and all the teachers inside of there, but it was just a hard time because he barely had any time to see his band students, and like band is his life. And so when he goes to a middle school, he gets to see them like the band students all the time.
Okay. All right. So he wanted more time with the students. You said.
Yeah, because he really loved them and like they were a part of his life.
Okay. That seems like an honorable band teacher. Because not many band teachers can admit to saying, "Oh, I love my students." He, in my opinion, he would say it at will. It was almost every time I went down there, he spoke highly. Every concert, every every opportunity he got, he would just brag on his students about telling them how good they were. I mean, you have to stop and think. You have a lot of sensitive kids there, so you have to cater to them to keep them motivated, to keep them going, because they're young kids. They have to put a lot of time and energy into this music thing, especially at a young age. How long were you guys practicing? Did you have like electives, or how was that set up?
Well, we had electives, and like at the end of the day, we always go to our classes, but the principal changed it up, so now we only go to our second electives, and so we just go straight to the band room, and then we go to the bus lot.
Okay. All right. So how many times a day did you guys have band? Just one time a day?
Yeah, one.
Did you have any other practices that you guys went to?
Yeah, on Mondays we have afternoon practices.
How long were those practices? Can you recall?
About 1 hour.
About 1 hour. Okay. All right. So they had after school practices. I know in middle school you really have to start buckling down because you're gonna have more after school practices. And in elementary school, personally, I didn't have to do anything after school, so I was like, oh, home free, I'm gone. But when I got to middle school, I had to do all this after school stuff and after school activities, and I felt grown, and I didn't want to feel grown. So it was just an adjustment coming home at 6 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, I think, and Friday we were doing practices. So it was very rewarding to take in. Is there any last comments you want to say to the people?
If you're playing an instrument, I require you to practice maybe for like an hour or so because it'll help you more.
Hmm.
It helped me. I play high school music now.
You heard it here, you guys. This is Project Sax, with the episode on elementary school playing and elementary school music. This is Devin,
This is Mimi.
and we'll see you guys later. And hopefully we'll have you on the show again.